Honestly, guys, if you had told me before the kickoff that Chelsea would go to the Etihad under an interim in the middle of this chaos, noise, and protests, and everything that is happening at Chelsea right now, and still yet come away with a point, I would have snapped your hands off. Because watching the game, yeah, and living through it, it was a different story. This wasn't a smash and grab. It wasn't a miracle. This was Chelsea showing flashes of what this squad could be, while also reminding us why we are stuck in this constant emotional tug of war. Let's start with the lineup and the approach from Callum McFarlane. You could tell immediately this was about control without the ball. It was compact, shape, uh, discipline, no ego football. This wasn't about outplaying City, it was about surviving City. And Chelsea set up to stay narrow in the midfield, force City wide, and protect the half spaces. And above all, do not let this, they didn't let the game turn into a chaotic football. It wasn't brave and it wasn't glamorous, I'm not gonna lie, okay, but it was sensible. Okay, and for once, Chelsea looked like a team that understood the assignment. In the first half, Chelsea actually did a lot right, even if it didn't always look pretty. City had the ball, of course, they always do. You guys, excuse me, we all know City like to have the ball, but they didn't hurt Chelsea. They didn't hurt Chelsea the way they usually do, and Chelsea's shape was solid. Lines were tight. The distances between midfield and defense were much better than we've seen in recent weeks. And what stood out for me was Chelsea didn't panic when City recycled possession. We weren't diving into challenges and we weren't getting dragged all over the pitch. Yes, City had moments. They probed, but Chelsea stayed switched on. And this was one of those rare first halves this season where I thought, okay, we are actually in this game. But then again, City don't need many chances. And this is where the difference between a good team and an elite machine shows. City started doing two things better. The first one was they started dragging Chelsea's midfield slightly wider and speeding up the ball circulation around the box. And that tiny drop in concentration, that split second hesitation, that's all it took for City to get the goal and get the lead. Chelsea lost their shape just enough, and the press wasn't as synchronized. The back line dropped and uh, dropped too deep, and suddenly City found the opening. It wasn't a collapse. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, it wasn't a collapse. It wasn't embarrassing like we like recent times when Chelsea visited or go to the Etihad Stadium. It was just City being City, and once they scored, you fear that the floodgates were about to open because we've all seen this script many times before. And then in the second half, there wasn't just so many things that happened in the first half. Okay, it was just Chelsea ensuring that they didn't concede so much in the first half to at least get them keep them in the game. And then in the second half, this is where I'll give McFarlane credit because he was brave. He didn't panic. Okay, he didn't overreact like Enzo Maresca, former Chelsea's manager now, uh, did a few times. He just made a few adjustments, and Chelsea were more aggressive in the second half. The midfield pressed higher, and distances improved again. The subs actually made more sense because Esteval wasn't doing so much in the first half. Okay, so McFarlane brought on fresh legs, more energy, and more intent. Brought on Delap, brought on Hato, Atto in the second half was in the first few minutes was a bit shaky, but it grew into the game, and then we could see a much calmer, composed Hatto. And then he brought on Santos, and this is one of those things that showed that Enzo Maresca should have given Andre Santos more playing times, because even though it was a bit shaky during the few games that Enzo Maresca gave opportunity to Santos, you could see that given more time and opportunity, it would grow and mature. And the game against City just proved it. He was one of those players who wanted the ball, called for the ball, and progressed the ball as fast and as advanced as possible, and he did that well. Okay, and Chelsea didn't hide in the second half. That equalizer, it didn't feel like it was lucky. It just to me it just felt like it was going to come, because in the end, City failed to this season. City have been failing to kill games, one way or the other. Opponents find get to find a way to stay in the game, and then for some reason they break City's defense. And this equalizer, okay, felt really deserved and earned. And for once, Chelsea showed belief, fight, structure, and a bit of personality. Walking out of the Etihad with a point in this context, in this matter, in this situation, okay, and for the table, okay, we're not going to say Chelsea will start building on from here and all that. I mean, it wasn't for the table per se. It was just for the mentality and the psyche of the squad. And just as the game was ongoing, news started flying about from reputable journalists, the Ben Jacobs, Matt Law, the Fabrizio Romano, were there focusing and watching the game, and then where reality hits you square in the face again. Because while Chelsea are battling at the Etihad, report drops that Liam Rosenior is one step away from becoming the Chelsea new manager. And I'm sorry, this is where I just stop and I'm just gonna stare, yeah, because this is Chelsea Football Club, yeah. It's not a coaching internship. It's not a development lab. It's not a learn on the job institution. You want to do a learn on the job institution, you go somewhere else where the pressure isn't as high as Chelsea. Chelsea is a different gravy. How do you want to use Chelsea as a lab? We are talking about a club that hired or had managers like Mourinho, Ancelotti, Conte, Tuchel, to Gusidink, to just give a few names. Managers who arrived with authorities, with medal, with presence, and now we're talking about a coach whose biggest job was All City and then Strasbourg. And listen, this is not me, like I said in my previous video, it is not me disrespecting or trying to be disrespectful to Rosenior. It might end up becoming a good coach. It might even be a very good coach. It might be a very good coach one day, yeah? But Chelsea is not the place to find out. And this is where I allowed everything that Joko said. He nailed it spot on, because the moment you wear the Chelsea badge, winning comes first, not patience, not process, not vibes. Okay, and here's the real fear. I did mention in the previous video that when we have 2 or 3 bad results and the noise ramps up and pressure starts to mount, then what? Another sacking, another rebuild. Okay, because the ownership keeps making potentials for not making mistaking potentials for proven. And we as Chelsea fans, we're tired of being told to wait. We're tired of waiting. We do not have all that in us. I mean, we've been patient enough, and then this is what we're being served again. Roman Abramovich, just like Joko said, understood the fans. But these guys, they just talk at us and they are not even talking with us. So where does this leave us? On the pitch, Chelsea showed against Manchester City something at Etihad. And off the pitch, Chelsea look more uncertain than ever. If Rosenior comes in, because I believe he's already he's probably coming in. He's going to be signing the contract and all that. He won't just be managing players. He's going to be managing fans' anger, media pressure, unrealistic timelines, and ownership that changes directions every 6 months. I'm not even going to be here to have conversation as regards to Rosenior's tactics and football acumen and all that. No, because in the end, we have, just like Enzo Maresca experienced or went through, we have people who want to be interfering in coaching, in the coach's affair, telling the coach what player, what to play, what lineup to come up with, what team selection to come up with, because they want to inflate, they want to ensure that the value of players are not dropping above the interest of the club. It's not even a fair environment for Liam Rosenior as a person, as a coach, to come into this kind of environment. It's not a conducive or ideal coaching environment. As for City away, it was a good point. We shared the point. And credit where is due. And then for Chelsea's future, man, I'm honestly unsure and do not know anymore. And that's the scary part. But if there's one thing that has actually excited me today, and I'm not going to be here to come and say that because Chelsea have hired a coach in person of Liam Rosenior, I'm going to be hoping and praying that Chelsea lose. I'm not going to be in that category of fans or people to do that. I'm going to back the team and all that. But if it all fails, again, what then happens again? Anyway, let me know what you guys think about everything that I've said in the video. What you guys think, and yeah, I want to make special mention to Reece James, because the man is proving every time he's on the pitch that he's Mr. Chelsea at the moment. Okay, he represents everything, and Chelsea, at least Chelsea, reaching a reasonable position in the Premier League this season will be dependent on how much we keep Reece James fit. If we have Reece James fit and available for selection, okay, it's going to be very important for Chelsea going forward, because right now we need someone in the team that can steer the ship. We need someone that can hold the team together, and that's Reece James. And I cannot laud how immense he has been, especially in big games like that, like the one against Man City and even Liverpool and even Arsenal. Was the man of the match, hands down. Even football pundits also came out to laud how immense Reece James is. It would have just been so wonderful if we had an ownership who understood the fans and knew that and understood how big of a club Chelsea is, for them to be able to match the energy, instead of this clown lakes that we have as ownership and the morons we have as sporting directors who don't understand what football is. I mean, I'm not even going to talk about Todd Bowley, even if this is his first football club that is owning. At least he's been in the world of sports, so he understands to an extent, compared to Beda Degbali and the sporting directors that have no prior knowledge or experience in this field. So yeah, for those that will be attending the protest on the 17th, I hope you guys understand that it's not just going to be about protesting and not taking actions. The only way, like I said in my previous video, these guys will understand that it is deeper than they think is when their pockets are affected. And that means that we should try as much as possible to ensure that revenues are not going in. The club isn't making money. Like they come back and find out that seats are empty, merchandise are unsold, fans are not even on the pitch, and then they will start to understand that it is deeper and more serious than they think. Yes, they might be the custodians right now of Chelsea Football Club, but we own the club. We the fans own the club. We the fans got Chelsea to where Chelsea is today. And that's with the help of our former owner, Roman Abramovich, not these clowns that we have here, who don't understand the fans and refuse to still have the understand the fans. Causing us heartaches and headaches every time that we are Chelsea fans. It's not been a good ride since these guys have come in, and this is the 4th year, and we're still here. So yeah, we need to take actions, and as painful as it is, this is the only measure I feel will actually make them either sit up or sell up. Let me know what you guys think, like I said in the comment section below, who you think was the man of the match, and what you guys think about Esteval and the rest of the other players, and what you guys think about Callum McFarlane as well, who led the team out, and it seemed to be a good coach, and John Terry has actually lauded him. So yeah, I believe that on the long run we'll get to see more of McFarlane, maybe not as a Chelsea coach, but somewhere else as a coach, and good luck to him and all that. He still looks very shy for a coach. Anyway, that's everything that I have for you guys, and if there's any other thing that comes on, I'll be here to share with you guys, and I'm sure before the end of today we should be hearing the news that Liam Rosenior has completed his signing, has signed for Chelsea, and we should be seeing him in the dugout against Fulham. I hope you guys have a lovely day, and like I said, if there's anything that comes up between now and then, I'll be here to share with you guys. Don't forget to like and share this video, because that's the only way you get to help this channel grow. Until then, until we meet again, it's Chelsea first, rivals next. Peace.